We got London on the track.
100 band, dropped on the head of any nigga wanted, man. Pop me as any, I'm fast, I'm so fast, I'm so faster than Sunny, man. True to man, true to man, true to my nigga, true religion, Buddha, man. My money stay tall as Ludacris, I throw and I swear I'ma shoot with it. I just hit for 9 birds, what I'ma do with that? Pull up on the curb, then you hop out and be through with that. I'm so fresh like this detergent, if you not fresh, you so through with that. If you are a nerd, everything you not cool with it. Yes, you not cool. No, you not boo. I don't get no damn, I'm not calling you boo. My bitch, she a Jew. You can't prove a point, but you know you so doomed. You know you so doomed. I swear I'm so lost with no clue. Don't know what to do. Hey. Over loud. How over loud on these niggas ain't know how to milk these cows. She made that dick grow, now it be like a town. Yeah, but I can't feel good with no Bible. 100 band, dropped on the head of any nigga wanted, man. Pop me as any, I'm fast, I'm so fast, I'm so faster than Sunny, man. True to man, true to man, true to my nigga, true religion, Buddha, man. My money stay tall as Ludacris, I throw and I swear I'ma shoot with it. I just hit for 9 birds, what I'ma do with that? Pull up on the curb, then you hop out and be through with that. I'm so fresh like this detergent, if you not fresh, you so through with that. If you are a nerd, everything you not cool with it.
Pull up, hop out on the block, they tucking their tail like a Hooter clan. I'm dressed in all black, I'm always on the road just like a Uber man. We rapping and sending them packs, soon as they land, we moving them. Blame it on the OGs, they influence me. Alright, I ain't make your money, nigga. I ain't just make money, nigga. I put lipstick on the Rari, she say that's delicious. Who that is in that crown, Vic, he looks suspicious. I just took the 100 pounds, I made
100 band, dropped on the head of any nigga wanted, man. Pop me as any, I'm fast, I'm so fast, I'm so faster than Sunny, man. True to man, true to man, true to my nigga, true religion, Buddha, man. My money stay tall as Ludacris, I throw and I swear I'ma shoot with it. I just hit for 9 birds, what I'ma do with that? Pull up on the curb, then you hop out and be through with that. I'm so fresh like this detergent, if you not fresh, you so through with that. If you are a nerd, everything you not cool with it. Yeah, you not cool with it. Oh, you not cool with that. Oh, you not cool with that.
Warning. The following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. How's everybody doing tonight? Make sure you guys hit that like button. What is going on? What is going on? How's everybody doing? Shout out to Rich Jew. Shout out to everybody checking out from the crib. Shout out to all the moderators. Shout out to the MGM gang. How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys come on in. Let me know where you're checking in from. I see Gerald Frank, see Costas. Shout out to everybody's up, Chuck. Kirk Morris, what's going on? Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. All right, so tonight we got a show. We got a special guest in the building. This is someone that, if you've been following the channel for at least maybe, let's say, a year and a half, you know this person. This is the person who I first held accountable. He's actually the whole accountability mark. It all started with him. And his story is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And this is a person that a lot of people always ask me for an update on. All right. So we're going to get straight into it. None other than the James 26 foot. What's going on?
What's going on, Mark?
Man, I'm chilling. How you been, man? What you been up to?
It's been chilling too.
Yeah?
Trying to gather things together, especially my thoughts and my hunger to come back and to watch you as well, because I know I haven't been really watching for a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been watching, and like I said a little bit earlier, the funny thing is, very randomly out of the blue, I decided to watch, and I heard you bring me up, so I was like, it's got to be a sign. I got to
Yeah, I
come back
mentioned
and
you. Yeah, I mentioned you doing a show last week. I just meant give you I use you as an example of,
hmm
you know, how your journey, it was kind of like you had like an express journey in box truck, and I hope you didn't get offended. I don't think I dissed you or anything, but you're a good case
No,
study. You're a good case study.
it hurt my feelings a little bit, but it was tough love, and but it's all good. I
Yeah, I
wouldn't be
mean
where
you.
I'm at today, honestly, if it wasn't for you and uh, Kirk. So
So so briefly, because I got a bunch of new subscribers since that episode when I held you accountable, or even that little your time period in box truck, and that was maybe about a year, probably about 15 months ago or 16 months ago, when you had your little stint in the box truck business. So really quickly, can you, for the people that are new who don't know you on the channel, who weren't around last March or April, whenever that happened, can you give us a brief refresher on how your box truck journey went?
so it was like the moment that I met uh Mark was like, it was perfect because I was listening to everything that he was saying, and I was trying to follow a couple of steps, and I made a big mistake. I started my DOT and my MC, so I ended up getting that. And out of fear, with the stuff that I was reading on the website, it said that I had 21 days to be compliant. So um, I was trying to build my business very slowly. I was using this thing called Taylor Brands, and I had no issues with that. It was great. I was trying, I had some shirts done. I was doing it very slowly. I was trying to be strategic, and I was trying to be financially smart. So it all went downhill the moment that I got my DOT, my MC. I had no clue that I had 21 days to be compliant. So out of knowing what I know now, maybe I should have had just left that alone, let the 21 days go, and just honestly not rush things. I went and I got a truck. My insurance was 3,000. I had a couple accidents, nothing crazy, just two. I think it was like two that right now should be gone, but my insurance was 3 grand a month, and the rental, it was a fair price. The way that I see things, the rates were fine. My only issue was that I entered with a high expense and very little experience. Like, I had just met Mark, and I was trying to. The thing was, I was tired of working for people, so I just went and I started my business and stuff like that. But it all went downhill after that. I ended up driving coast to coast, from east to west, and then back, and then to Florida, all the way to Vermont. Um, and then it just, because I had a high expense, I I went bankrupt without filing. I was like broke, and then so I went back to work, and
One
I had a
second.
couple of jobs that wasn't working out.
How quick was that from the moment you started to the moment it was done? What was the turnaround time?
3 months. It was 3 months, and after watching that one video, I remember you said I went to California for $1,500. It was around three something. I believe it matched the miles, and it went just a little bit over, so it was like $1 and some change.
When you said three something, you talking about round trip, right? Or you talking
No,
about
one way. It was one way, so it was about $1 and some change a mile.
Mm-hmm.
So but after the fuels and everything, I didn't really I made money, but I didn't make money because I had expenses. The fuel was actually I had a factoring company, which they were very good. I would recommend them, but I wouldn't say here, but you know what I mean. So they were good. The fuel that I spent on the rental truck wasn't that bad, and the only thing was everything combined as a huge expense, which is what really did me bad.
What were you paying for the rental?
The rental, I believe it was 1,200 or a month. Was it 1,200 a month plus the miles? But I was driving like
1,200 a month.
not a month, a week. My bad, a week. It was about 1,200 a week plus the
And
miles.
how much were the miles?
I mean, like I said, I went coast to coast. I was trying to drive as
No,
much as
no.
possible.
How much were you? No, how much were they charging you for the miles?
Um,
Was it
I
20
believe it
some
was
cent, 30 some cent?
no, I believe it was like 15 or 17 cents.
But they were
It was like
charging you
15 or
$1,200 a week though,
yes,
plus 17 cent a mile.
yes. It wasn't that bad.
Well, that's actually the mileage really ain't that bad, but the weekly rate is bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
That's not a good weekly rate. But uh, so that first trip or one of those first trips that you took that New York or New Jersey to California, that 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 I remember that
My
did you
first
in.
my first trip was to Iowa when I got stuck and I was in a hotel and I told you I was like, "Oh, I have no working capital. I'm you know,
No,
I was like
talk about that because I touched on that on a live stream yesterday when I was telling people, listen, if you have just enough money to get in, it's not enough. You got to have working
no,
capital. So your first trip, you
exactly.
went to Iowa and you were stranded.
I was definitely stuck in the snow. So I stayed in a hotel, which was a little expensive. And I was like, man, I believe I had the delivery, but I wasn't getting paid because I ended up getting a fuel card from somewhere else. So they had a lien on my company, and I couldn't get paid until they removed it. And I kept calling them and calling them and calling. It was a nightmare. So I spent the whole day in the hotel calling one company, talking to like I don't know over 100 people, calling them over and over. I was like, "Come on, remove the lien, remove the lien." They ended up removing it. I ended up getting paid, and I was like stranded because I had like 1,500 bucks in my account, and I was waiting to get paid for the Iowa trip, which was about I don't know, it was like
So
1,000 and some change or two or something like
so
that.
so that's what I'm saying. After you got all your business set up, the business structure, you rented the truck, the down payment on the truck, whatever fuel you needed to run that first load from Jersey to Iowa, all you had was $1,500 to your name. That was all
No,
you
no, I
had
think I
after you got
think I
started.
I think I had about 5 grand. That was what I had.
So
I think I had said I had seven, but I ended up having five. So I went at the moment I started my business, after paying the insurance, after all the expenses starting it, uh, I had in between 5 and 7, and then by the time I got to Iowa, like you just heard, I had about I didn't have much.
so
I
what I'm
really
saying is so when you first started your
but no,
business,
by the
how much
time I
money
left Iowa, I'm
how,
sorry.
how much
By the
how
when
much
I
money
was
how much money did you have initially to start this business?
I had 15 to 20 grand, in between
And
15 and 20.
and by the time you started it and ran that first load to Iowa, by the time you got to Iowa, you had what, about 1,500, you said?
By the time when I was leaving Iowa, before I got paid for the Iowa job, I had about 1,500.
Because you
Or
spent
I'm
money
so
in
no,
Iowa
I'm sorry.
hotel
I
and
had about yeah. I spent money on the hotel and stuff, and then when I got paid, I had like 2,500, 3 grand. So I was
so so
literally, it was kind of like living check to check
so
with the
let me ask you
business
this.
every
Before you
run.
let me ask you this. How much did you have before you left Jersey to go to Iowa?
Before I left, I think I had like 7 grand. I had about 7 grand.
So you
7 or 5 grand.
spent. So you spent 5,500 from New Jersey to Iowa. How?
That's right. You know what it was? I think I ended up buying some straps. I had a pallet jack. Um, a couple things all add up. So I had the straps. I had the pallet jack. I don't know what else I got.
How much did you spend
Um,
in fuel on that trip? Because that was a one pick, one drop, right?
yeah, it was.
And what did
I
that
think I
load pay?
spent. I think I that honestly I can't really remember. It was about 1,800, I believe, or 2,000.
Okay, so you basically were robbing Peter to pay Paul the moment you started the truck.
Yeah, basically. And
So
I didn't have enough working capital. I had literally no working capital.
yeah. And that's what I tell people. Listen, if you have just enough money to start the business, it's not enough money for. And I gave examples, but this is a perfect example. So you're sitting in a hotel room. You can't really do anything because you don't have any money. You're begging them to remove the lien. You get the low factor. They pay you,
Hmm.
and you still really don't have enough money. So when you left Iowa, where'd you go? Did you get a load out of Iowa, or what happened there?
Yeah,
Because this was your
I
first
did.
load, literally. Okay.
Yeah, I did get a load. I ended up getting a load from there back to Jersey, and then I just kept doing the same thing over and over, but longer trips. There
Okay.
was a point. There was a the This is how I ended. This is how I ended, which the broker, he said I was very honorable. So I had about a couple of days to. I had no money, and I took the load, right. So uh, by the time I was halfway to Colorado, it was a delivery to Colorado. I was like halfway to Colorado, somewhere
From
in
where?
I don't
From
know,
where?
from Jersey, from Jersey. So I ended up going to Colorado again. I was halfway there, and the rental payment was due. The rental payment was due. I didn't have the money for the rental. It was like due the next morning, and it was that night, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I had spoken to the rental company, and I try to like ask them like, hey, all I gotta do, I gotta get there. I'll be there in like 2 days, and I know that it's due. I was like, and they were like, well, policy is something about like with the same policy is the same day. We'll be leaning with you. We'll give you like 3 days, but we can't promise that the 3 days will be. It depends on the higher ups. So if I don't pay that same day, the truck is reported stolen. So that's why I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not doing that. So I called the broker. I explained the situation, and he kind of panicked. He didn't know what to do. And then I saw something on a load board that said pallet transfer or something like that, right? So I said, hey, why don't you try to do that? I mean, if you post this load as that and have somebody come just take it, you know what I mean, off of me. I'm already halfway there. And then he thanked me. He was like, wow, that's a great idea. And then he was happy, and I was happy because now I'm gonna go return the truck. I'm not trying to go to jail over a couple of days where I could have just paid that. And that whole situation, I'm not trying to get pulled over with a stolen truck. You know what I mean?
So you basically didn't have so the day when you were supposed to leave with the load from Jersey to Colorado, the payment was due the very next day.
No, I believe it was due it was due when I left. It was due at the end of the week, but I was halfway there, and in my head I'm like, man, I'm gonna drop it off the same day that it's due, or like the day after it's due. I try to just go. Like I'm gonna get there before. I thought I could get there before the week was up, but it didn't happen that way. It just didn't happen that way.
Hmm.
So that's when I was like,
So
enough is enough.
that that
Crazy
was from that
situation.
was that was Jersey to Colorado, but I think the episode that I
Hmm.
held you accountable was a load you took from Jersey to California, and I was
Yeah,
really
that was the
upset.
one.
I was really upset with you, and I think prior to that you were robbing Peter to pay Paul every load, but I think that's the one that just really started you really in the decline of playing catch up?
Yeah.
Because you were stuck out in California for about a week, right?
Yeah, I was out there. I was out there for about a week.
Looking for a load or waiting on some money or what was going on?
Um, I needed to get a load. I couldn't find one. Uh, I couldn't find one going west. I mean, east. I couldn't find one going east. Um, but I ended up finding one going halfway, and then I ended up booking one halfway back to Jersey.
And that load played what 1,500? It was something that was paid you 1,500 or 1,700. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Everything together was like $1 a mile. You know what I mean? Like averaging probably $1 and some change a mile.
And what was your
Which is
cost
not
per
that. I'm
mile?
gonna be honest. It's not that bad if I don't have expenses.
But what
You
was
know
your
what I mean?
cost
Then I
per
can
mile?
slowly.
What was your cost per mile?
My cost per mile was honestly I couldn't really calculate it. I'm pretty sure that
So
it was sky high. It's
you didn't.
very.
So that's what I'm saying. You never knew your cost per mile.
No, I ran the numbers on like a generator, and I put in all like my expenses on there, and then
Hmm.
by the time I clicked enter and it calculated for me, it made sense.
And what did it say?
It made sense.
What did the
It's
number come up to be?
um, it came out to like it was like $2 a mile as my
Okay.
expenses.
So let me
Like,
ask you this, because we just keeping up to date, and we never really broke down your journey in detail. If you
yeah.
ran your costs on a generator, on a cost per mile calculator, I mean, and it came up to $2 and something a mile, and we know it was high, and you were taking loads in the very low dollar amount. Your insurance
Mhm.
was $3,000 something dollars a month. Loan, you're paying $1,200 a week for a rental. That's $4,800 a month plus another $3,000 a month. That's 78. Let's just say $8,000 a month.
Yeah, it
Why
was
were
pretty
you
high.
accepting? Why were you accepting loads for half of what your cost per mile was?
Well, there you go.
Well,
Because no, because I was a new authority, and I couldn't get the rates that I wanted. You know what I
so
mean?
this is what I'm asking you.
And
If you know that your cost per mile is $2 and some change, and you're accepting stuff for $1, a little over $1, and
mhm,
you're losing $1 and something, you're losing 100%. Pretty much,
right.
you're losing your cost per mile is twice as much as what you're accepting, right? So you're paying to run these
The-
loads. Why accept something constantly if you're knowing that you're going to end up paying to run the load? That's why I always didn't
well,
understand
ini-
with you.
initially, so for example, my first load ever, the one to Iowa. Initially, I was like, all right, well, it's not that heavy. You know what I mean? Like I had my limit. It wasn't that heavy. It was on one pallet, and then they came with the ceiling of the truck stuff. So and then I'm like, man. So I drove with one pallet from Jersey to Iowa. You know what I mean?
Why?
Because my in my head I'm like, well, like I try to do the whole thing where okay, so then I'll keep adding on more stuff that'll pay for that. Like I get it. I get the strategy. You know what I mean? Like I understand how it works. Like all right, you get 12 pallets in there. You're going from here to Iowa. I stop. Let's say I'll stop like Chicago, and I'll drop off like 3 pallets to Iowa. You know what I mean? So I understand the strategy. The thing is, I couldn't run it because I was a new authority. They kept sealing. They kept sealing, and the only broker that would give me work was one broker. So every other, like for example, when I would call them and I would negotiate and stuff, it was great. Like I would get the load before they ran my authority. I would get the load, everything's perfect. They ran my authority, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't give it to you. It's like you're a great guy, you know what I mean? But you're gonna have to call us back 6 months from now, a year from now. You know what I mean? That was the issue.
I get that, but here's the thing: getting turned down is one thing, but why
I asked
still
I asked that
operate?
question too. I should have I should
Why
have cut
still
I should have
operate? Why still
right,
operate at a loss
right, right.
regardless? But like,
Right,
here's
because
the thing: if
I figured I'm gonna go
you're
out swinging.
eventually you're gonna no, you're not gonna go out swinging. You're just gonna go out. You're gonna go
That is
out.
exactly
You know what I'm
what
saying?
happened.
If you're running every single load at a loss, you're not even swinging. You're just standing there getting the shit beat out of you. You're not even
Right.
fighting. A fighting chance is understanding your cost per mile and
That's
trying
true.
to get stuff that pays more than your cost per mile, right? Partials, things of that nature. You telling me you running one pallet. You're paying to
You know,
run one pallet from New Jersey
to Iowa.
to Iowa, and then you ran from Jersey to Colorado, then you ran from Jersey to California. There's no reason this. I still like that. Like every time I ask you this, I feel like you're gonna give me the right answer, a better answer, and you never give
It
me
don't make
an answer
sense.
that
It don't.
makes
It
sense.
doesn't.
Like
It doesn't. Listen.
you
It doesn't
had
make sense.
no business on the West Coast whatsoever.
That's true. That's
You
true.
shouldn't have.
I
You
mean,
shouldn't have. You shouldn't have even been as far. You shouldn't have been the farthest west that you should have went was Illinois, maybe Iowa. I'll give you Iowa, but really, you shouldn't have been past Illinois.
I get what you're saying.
You drove past Chicago. You drove past the mecca of freight to go all the way to California to get stuck there for a week at a loss.
You remember
So
you remember when I told you that I drove through Chicago and Illinois?
yeah.
I thought Chicago I thought Chicago was a state.
Y'all killing me with this.
You thought Chicago was a state, bro?
Yeah, I did actually. When I drove, I was like, when I got to Iowa, and I was like, "Hey, Mark, I threw."
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Y'all killing me with this.
You serious or you joking?
No, I was serious at the time, but now I know. You know what I mean? I knew when you told me when we were on the live when you told me. I
Okay.
learned. But guess what? I ran into somebody who thought the same thing today. Then I taught them. I said, I told them my story, and they were like, "Oh wow, actually, I thought the same thing. I thought Chicago was a state."
Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this.
You tweaking. Yo, goof ass.
How old are you, James?
I'm 32, about to be 33 soon.
They don't teach like geography and shit in school no more. Like,
Now they
like,
do. They do.
like I'm like you got me over here like. What's you Generation Z or you a millennial? You Generation Z, right?
I mean, I was born 91.
Is that Generation Z? You born 91?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I gotta see. Where's Generation Z? Oh no, you a millennial. Tweaking. So, and I don't even know what else. I'm lost now because this is every time I talk to you, you
Sometimes I
tell
hate
me
to- I-
you
like, I
tell
like-
me something
I-
that
I
just
like to think-
surprises me every time. Like, God damn.
Well, now I know. You know what I mean? So, listen. Right before I had texted you, um, I watched the comparison to a box truck business to the playing blackjack,
Oh, you watched that
right?
video? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I did. It was like a 3-minute video, and I
Mm-hmm.
actually, so I wanted to incorporate that with my update. Whenever we get there, after we're done dwelling on the shenanigans.
We're not dwelling. We just doing. A lot of people ask about you, James. You like a staple on the channel, man. Like, so you tap in, every once every year. But I mean, you've every time you come on, you always tell me something that you like. You're full of surprises, man. Like, I can
I
always.
got one. I got
Hey,
one. I got one
listen.
too. I got one.
When you come on the channel, I can always use one of these buttons.
Y'all killing me with this. That's stupid. Use your common sense. That's stupid. Use your common. That's stupid. Use your common sense.
I can always make sure I get a good.
Killing me with this.
Now I'm lost after that, man. You thought Chicago was a state. I'm really lost now. I don't know what the next question was. I forgot. But anyway, I guess we can say your box truck business, it just didn't last long. You operated at a loss from the beginning, right? You ended up driving the truck back from halfway to drop a load off. You ended up having to drive it back empty, right? On your dime, right?
Yeah.
And then you just turned it in and you didn't have any money at that point, right?
Yeah, I was literally, I was like, actually, I was in the red. I was like negative about almost $2,000. Credit cards all negative, maxed out, past the limit, all of that stuff. Owing money to the factoring company, owing money to crazy load board for $6,000 a year.
Wait.
I don't even know.
You
I
did.
don't even
Wait.
know why. I don't even know why I signed that contract.
Whoa. Repeat what you
I
just
know.
said. You did what with a load board?
I had signed the contract for a load board. It was $6,000 a year.
Selectus?
But they advertised.
What load board?
They advertised
Selectus?
Select.
Was it Selectus?
Yes, that one. It was.
Hold on.
Until this day.
Hold on.
Goofy as hell.
Yeah, I know. But till now, I mean,
wait. Hold on. Don't try to breeze past it now. Hold on. Let's let this marinate for a second. Let's let it marinate for a second. Because you ain't never told me this. You always full of surprises. You never said this on the last update. You signed a contract with Selectus for $6,000 a year.
Well, that's not. Now that I broke it down monthly, I was like, man, that's a six. After I had signed it already, I'm like, man, because the first day that I went and I did the training with them, the way that they had advertised it to me wasn't exactly what it was. So I tried to pull out and they weren't having it. So I had already signed it. So I got tired of arguing with them for about maybe a week and a half to try to get out of it, and they weren't letting me out. So I was like, I'm just gonna let it be. And I never paid them.
Wait. You signed a contract for $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. That's $500 a month.
That's exactly what it was.
What made you do that?
Exactly
what made you do that?
Well, my strategy was to cancel out the other load boards that I had because they had offered me help. The dude on the call was like, "Oh, we got people who's gonna call you daily to help you get loads." And I was like, that's when I was trying to transition from going far to being close, and then the help that they had offered me was basically a half-hour training session on Microsoft something. So that's what I ended up doing. And after I saw that, I was like, this is bogus.
Slow down. They offered you half-hour training on Microsoft, what, like Word or some shit like that?
Basically
Microsoft
offered me
Excel or some shit like that. Like, this shit you learn in. Well, I don't know if they teach it, but they taught this shit in school back in the 90s.
They had offered me to have dispatchers call me, that they had people there. You know what I mean? On Selectus, working at Selectus, that they'll call me on a daily basis to find me loads.
So they sold you. They sold you.
Sold. And I was getting ready to cancel out the other two load boards, right? So I was keeping, since I had already paid for the other two load boards, I was going to keep that for the remaining of the month.
Stop. What are the other two load boards that you were paying for already?
I had DAT, which was about I think 150 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had the one that I liked more than DAT, Truck Stop. I think it was Truck Stop.
Okay. So
That one was
okay,
great. They were helpful.
okay,
Like they
okay.
were real nice.
And you had these two before you got Selectors, right?
Yes, and I was getting ready
All
to
right,
cancel
all right,
DAT and
all right,
just keep
all
Truck
right, all right.
Stop.
So hold on, slow down. So if you like Selectors and they were very helpful, and you said you liked
No,
it,
Truck Stop.
right? Truck Stop. What made you get Selectors?
Well, because it sounded like I would have to work less and that they would help me. You know what I mean?
All right,
And also
stop.
another thing too is I was gonna get rid of the dispatcher that I had. So I was gonna get
You
rid
had a
of three
dispatcher.
things.
You had a dispatcher too.
Yes,
All right,
a
hold on,
dispatcher that I
hold on,
ended up
hold on.
getting
Stop.
loads more than he
All right,
got me loads.
all right, stop. I think I remember that part, but a lot of this other
Yeah.
shit that you talking about, you didn't tell me none of this shit before. So this goes back to what I was talking about in one of those live streams I had maybe last week. On, I was talking about the insurance brokers, and I was talking about the rental account
Mm-hmm.
managers. How all these people, all these third parties that truckers and box truckers rely on, how it's their job to sell you. Nobody is here to help you. I just did a lecture on this 2 days. I think it was not leverage. It was on the insurance and the rentals. And you're a prime example of that. They sold you. Nobody's your friend. They call you. They have that right voice,
That's
and
right.
they make you seem comfortable and shit like that. But all these people are working on a commission, a base salary, a bullshit ass base salary with commission. Their job is to sell you with the highest package, because the more money they sell you, the higher their commission is, right? They look for green, gullible people. Everything that I was talking about earlier this week on these lectures, this is prime example of what I'm talking about. But you had a load board that you said you enjoy. What it seems like to me was you were desperate, like you said,
I was.
you were looking, you know what I'm saying? But what I still don't understand is, here's what I don't understand.
I wanted to pull
saw
out when I had $5 grand in the pocket, but I had a friend who was like, "No, just keep going." You know, he was like, you don't wanna pull out and then keep wondering what it would have been like if you didn't pull out and it worked out." So that's another reason why I had stayed too. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me just keep going. But in my head, I really did want to pull out. I was like, well, if it's gonna fail, I want to fail with at least $5 grand where I can just have, you know what I mean? I won't owe nobody nothing, and I'll have $5 grand in my pocket. I was like, that makes a lot more sense, and
But
that's what I wanted to do.
you said you want to fail with $5,000.
Well, it would have been better to fail with $5 grand and no debt than to fail the way I am
I don't
now.
understand.
But it's okay.
Explain. Wait, I don't understand what you're saying. You had a goal to fail with $5,000. Explain that to me.
After I did,
I never heard that.
so right. So to me, it was like, so let's say, all right. So I'm gonna put it like this. So since I started with about 15, in between 15 and 20, there was a point where I did a run, and after I got paid, I had about $5 grand, right? Had $5 grand, and I was like, man, I was
Left.
like, none of, yeah, out of everything, like within those 3 months, it's, you know what I mean. Within those 3 months, there was like maybe in the middle of it, there was a point where I was sitting on $5 grand in my account, and I was like, well, I was like, man, it's like, doesn't make sense. I mean, obviously I know the $5 grand's gonna go back to zero, and then I'm gonna get paid, and it's gonna just keep going up and down until eventually there's nothing. So I'm in my head, I'm like, it was tough. It was really tough having to have nothing and then get paid and then have something and then have nothing and then have something. So there was a point where I had $5 grand, and I was like, well, I kind of want to call it quits and rethink and come back, use the $5 grand that I'm coming out with, but I didn't. I went to the end, and I came out with a lot of debt, and that's what happened. But I learned my lesson.
All right. Real quick before we move on to afterwards. Here's one thing that I never really understood. One day I saw you pop up, and every time I would go live, you were in the chat. You were very active in the chat. You would ask a lot of questions. Some of them made sense, and some of them seemed like they didn't seem like they. Some of them were just very. I feel like questions that you could have got on Google. But the thing was, you asked a lot of questions. I remember saying in the chat, I think somebody said something. I said, no, it's cool. He's asking questions. He's engaged. He wants to learn. So that's what I admired about you, as far as a person that I would see regularly in the chat. So what has always puzzled me, you were always in the chat. You got an offer for free mentorship, right? You ran OTR, so I introduced you to Kirk. I called Kirk, remember, on the live stream, and I said,
Yes.
listen,
Paid him too.
for some reason I take a liking to this kid. I'm gonna pay you for whatever that service is he offers to help you learn the partials. I was gonna pay for it for you, and I offered that to you on the show, right? And I told Kirk I would pay him for it. He ended up helping you out. I think he gave you his he did your radius for you, right? Cost
He
per
did do the
mile,
radius.
right?
He broke it down. He broke it down,
and he gave you a radius, right? And
I went beyond that radius.
And that radius, you went way beyond that radius. So if you got two guys, hold on.
It was actually the next day. It was actually the next day after he had sent it to me too.
Right. So here's the thing. You got two experienced guys. Between the two guys, almost 3 decades worth of experience combined. Right? Why on God's green earth would you not adhere to the strategy that we gave you? Why would you still do what you want? Because there's people that would have loved, there were people that were mad that we were looking out for some reason, and still to this day, I just think, me, I think you're a good person, but I just don't understand why you don't listen, why you didn't listen.
I panicked. I had called Kirk once. He didn't answer. I didn't know. This is when I was looking for a load. I panicked. And the thing is, all I kept thinking about were the bills. I was like, man, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of next week, at the end of the third week of the month, I panicked. And I was like, man, I gotta move. I was like, and that's one that I looked and was like, I always wanted to go to Cali. So I was like, let's just go. I guess let's just go. Because when I started, I had never really left the state. I went to PA once and stuff. So
Stop.
I figured I'd take a road trip, which was a bad idea. But
stop. You made your decision because he didn't answer the phone one time. You didn't wait for him to call you back. You didn't try to call him again. You made your decision to take a load going to Cali because you always wanted to go to Cali. That was the basis.
Well, I mean, that was like the cherry on there. You know what I mean? But I was kind of panicking. Yeah, I mean, I get to enjoy the drive. It's pretty far. I always wanted to go to Cali. It was just a little
stupid. Use your common sense. Y'all killing me with this.
You never.
I know.
You always amaze me. Every time we talk, you always give me something new that amazes me, and I get to use my buttons. I don't use my buttons a lot, but like sometimes I'm supposed to use my buttons. I'll forget, but with you, like the shit just I remember about. I'm like, I got buttons for this. I don't know, James. I just think here's my thing before we go for life after, because you haven't gave an update since what you did afterwards, and you're telling me you're not even doing that anymore. So I'm curious to know what you're up to now. But you know, I know you said you want to come back. I don't think the box trucking is the thing. I think it's your lack of business and understanding and comprehension, and it's just a lot of things that I think you need to focus on outside of box truck. In order for you to be a successful box trucker, you got to first be a good businessman. I think you make a lot
It's
of
true.
rash decisions, and a lot of the when I ask you questions on why you do certain things, the reasons that you give does just not make sense. Like, I always wanted to go to California. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I would think you would, the logical answer, you understand your cost per mile. You know, when you're looking at going
That
a
too,
certain
Mark.
place, you have
That
to
too.
make sure, you have to understand that it has to make sense financially, because you got into this business to ultimately make money, and you're telling me from day one you were doing the complete opposite. So I just, like, I've heard some crazy stories. Obviously, you just coming back to watching the channel. I got a lot of testimonials and call-in shows. I've heard some crazy shit, but if it's a Mount Rushmore, some of the craziest shit, your face would definitely be up there, brother. You definitely have a place on Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? But so your box truck business, it ended. It ended. You came back home, and then what'd you do?
I mean, I was a little depressed. I didn't know what to do. I knew I didn't want to go to work for other people. So I did I got one job. Ended up getting fired after a
What
day.
job was that?
In
What job was that?
it was a relay for it was when you remember I had told you that they were moving the DSPs to be the relay people
Yeah,
and pushing the carriers out. It
yeah.
was around there. So I was working for a DSP doing relay. I got in the truck. It was actually my second day, and I argued with the manager. So
Over what?
he gave me no over what truck to use. I wanted to use the same truck that he had gave me the first day. I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
use the second truck. I want to use the first truck. So he gave me an ultimatum. He was like, either do that or go home. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna be out then. So and then he ended up giving me. He switched the route. He switched the route, but I ended up using the truck, whatever. So I ended up. I was like, man, whatever. I was like, I'm out. I was like, I'm out then. So then I ended up doing the route that day, and then the next day, because I gave him like I didn't show him like what he could have his way with me, he fired me. You know what I mean? So
As he
that
as
didn't
he
work,
should, as he should.
right? But
You were
the thing is, it was
you were,
because
you were
I well,
insubordinate.
whatever, don't matter, don't matter, right? So he ended up firing me. So then I ended up working for somebody else that didn't last long
Doing what?
as well. I
Doing
was
what?
doing I was doing FedEx. Actually lasted for a while. Actually, I think it lasted for maybe 6 months. uh, for about
At
6 months.
FedEx? Okay.
hmm
And what happened at
So
FedEx?
um, what had happened? It was just what's been going on that route for the longest. Um, I mean it's a heavy route, but it's doable. The only thing is that they keep giving you more after your route. You know what I mean? They'll have you do this and do that, and it's like, yo, I just broke my back on the route, and now I gotta go do this. You know what I mean? And then they'll lighten you up. They'll lighten you up to the actual what the route should actually be, and then they'll just go after like a week. They'll just keep giving you more and more again. So I was like, yo, I ain't doing that no more. I was like, got tired of it, so I left.
How many stops were you getting on your route?
That route was a bulk route, so I had about um 60 to 70 stops, but in the morning it would show about 100, but after you condense it and stuff it'll be around 60 or between 60 and 70. So it's a bulk route, so I'm doing like 1,000 boxes a day, and about 60 stops, and
How
it's
long
and
was
it's
it
in a
taking you?
small that was about a 8 to 10 hour shift. So
But it was in a
sometimes
it was in a dense area though, right?
yeah, it was. But it's the thing is, since it's in a dense area, it's a lot of scheduling. Like I've been at FedEx for a long time. I'm a vet. You know what I mean? As far as with that, I'm a vet. I know what I'm doing. It's just that, so but and it's not just me. It's a lot of drivers, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other drivers at many other terminals go through the same thing. So, but by the time I'm done with the route, I'm like, I got about 60, and I have about 30 pickups, 35 pickups, and then I'm already like stressed out because I got to make it. Even though it's a dense area, you're dropping off a lot of boxes and you're picking up a lot of boxes, so that takes up time as well. You know what I mean? So by the time I'm done with the route, and it's like, oh, they'll just send you to a whole other town to do more pickups, or they'll have you go help a driver, or you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, I'm already doing a route that a lot of drivers quit on, and I've been holding it down for about 3 months, and then they call you, like if you miss one pickup, they'll call you and be like, oh, this and that. So now I just kind of got tired of it. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me quit. I was like, let me quit.
Let me ask you this: when you quit, did you have some money
I didn't quit on
saved
good
up?
terms. Yes, I had about a grand or two. You know what I mean? So what I was doing at the time, what I was doing on my day off, I started. I actually did a couple roadie deliveries, and I was thinking about you. I did a couple roadie deliveries, but the thing is, I was like, it was during Halloween. I delivered a couple skeletons. I did some residential deliveries. I delivered a couple pieces for a doorknob. And those drives weren't far. They were about, I don't know.
So
You know what I
so
mean?
you said
But and
Halloween.
then
So you quit. So you quit FedEx last year. So Halloween was like 8 months ago.
yes, yes, yeah. It's been a while. It's been a while.
And you said you
Um,
left on bad terms. Like, what do you mean? You just quit? You didn't give him a 2 week notice? You cursed out the
no, I
manager? What
didn't.
what happened?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because with this guy, I had a great relationship. The last time I worked for him years ago, I gave him more than a 2 weeks notice. I gave him months notice, and the reason why was because um, at the time I was doing both FedEx, Amazon, and then they had offered me a managing position. So then I was like kind of transitioning, and so I gave him my 2 weeks notice, and he asked me for more because it's hard. You know what I mean? You can't really you can find drivers, but it's like it takes a little while. So I ended up staying for about a month and a half, more than like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So I had a good relationship with him. He always liked me and stuff like that. But at the time, I ended up leaving because I just kind of felt like, yo, this is the second time I'm here, and the first time I was here, it was a similar situation, and I was actually, because I had two jobs. I found a better situation, so I was able to put up with that, and I was like, so I left on good terms then, and then but the situation wasn't gravy at that time either. Like I had a route that everybody quit on too, and it was a hybrid of a rural route and a business route, and everybody would quit in the mountains. So you know what I mean? And it was I was driving like over 100 miles, and I had about 100 over 150 stops. So I was like, I had a tough situation then. I didn't crack, and I left on good terms. Now I'm here. I'm back, and you know what I mean. So after like 3 4 months, I'd say there like, I don't know, 6 months. I ended up leaving. I left right around the time where it was like, oh man, that's the worst time to leave, Christmas. So so I was like, I just left, man. But good thing that I did, because now I found another job which is pretty sweet. It's
So
pretty
where you
good.
at now? Where you at now?
I'm working at a small logistics company. Um, they got like two sides, right? Uh, and so when I start, I actually worked for them about 7 years ago. I worked for them,
Mm-hmm.
and so they got two sides. They got the regular heavy freight side, right? You got the
Yep.
pallets, you got the stuff, and then they got this new account. They got this other side, which is small stuff, which is what I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell you, which I
Mm-hmm.
want to give you an update on, where I kind of found a lane that I like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or at least an idea, because before I got this job, I tried to do DoorDash. I was doing DoorDash day in and day out, right? And all day and all night, and I was operating on a loss. And the reason is because I have a
Wait, wait,
hoop.
wait. Wait. Hold on, stop. How do you operate DoorDash on a loss? Ain't you just using your car to
Me
go pick
me
up
expl-
food and deliver it? Like, how do you
yes.
how do you operate that
It,
on a loss?
well, not a loss, but I'm going home with like $20. You know what I mean? And the
How
reason
much?
the reason
How
go ahead.
many pickups or whatever are you doing? for DoorDash. If you said you working there all day and all night,
yeah, I'm a beast on DoorDash. I was a top dasher, all that.
okay, all right.
I was good.
So if you're doing it all day and all night, how are you only going home with $20? Explain, please. I'm lost.
So because I have a hoopty, right? So I put about $80. To fill it up is about $80. So by the end of the night, I run the car until it's empty, and then I got to put 80. And let's say I made 120, I'm going home with $40 a night.
Wait. You in Jersey, right? What?
Yes.
What city in Jersey?
I'm in Elizabeth and Newark.
Newark is what's the population in Newark?
It's an urban community.
I know, but what's the population? Well, you probably don't know. You didn't know Chicago was a city.
No, it's
Chicago
dense.
was a state. I'm pretty sure it's dense, but what's the population? Hold on, I'll look it up. Don't worry about it. I got it. Because I know if you didn't know Chicago,
listen,
you thought Chicago was a state. I know you don't know
Mark,
the population.
I got a joke for you. Mark.
What's your joke?
Listen, I changed my name from 26FT to James26FT, right? Because you know how you always say, listen,
Lord have mercy.
I'm Mark the mentor, but I don't do mentoring like that, right? So I'm James26FT. But when it comes to actually being mentored,
no, I do
a
mentor.
mentee. I'm kind of I know what you mean, but you know how you
Okay.
usually say,
I don't
do
mentorship, right? But I mentor people.
So
I
that's why
mentored you
I
for
changed.
free online. You just didn't listen. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
So you know.
So I changed my name to James the Mentee because I'm
300
Hart the Mentee.
305,000 people. 305,000 people.
Right.
So how does DoorDash work? They send you a order and you go pick it up and you go drop it off, right?
Mm-hmm. You go pick it up and drop it off.
So,
but the thing is, when
it's
a dense stop, it's about two. You get paid $2-3.
So
you see what I'm saying?
So if it's dense, how are you burning a whole tank of gas? I'm confused.
Because
James.
I have a hoopty. You know what I
so
mean?
what you got a leak in the gas tank or some shit like that? I'm saying, what kind of car is it?
Look,
what kind of car is it?
How about switch? Matter of fact, I'll just walk up.
What kind of car is it?
I got this one.
What's that? Lincoln? That's a Lincoln?
Yeah.
That's an old Lincoln Town car. We call it a Lincoln. First of all, that's a V8, right? That's a gas
I don't use
guzzler.
that one though. That's not the one that I use.
Okay.
That's not the one.
The fuck? You driving a big ass Lincoln?
I use this one.
The hell?
I use the Hyundai, the Santa Fe.
Okay.
I use the Santa Fe.
That's a V6, right?
See.
The Hyundai V6, right?
Honestly, I don't know, but these are things that I should know, right? But let me tell you. But here, look, listen. Let me give you my update, so I could at least give you something that I do know. All right.
What you know, bro? Tell me what you know, bro. Tell me what you know. What you know?
All right. So. All right. So basically, I got a crazy.
I ain't seen a stankin' Lincoln in a minute. Man, you still got your what year is that? That's like a 01, 02, or 98. That's gotta be like a 98 to like a 02, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a late 90s model, right? You don't know what year it is?
No.
Is it your car?
The Lincoln is my dad's. The Lincoln is my father's. And, well, they're both my father's. And the reason why was because when I was going through a divorce and stuff, so I ended up taking the stuff off my name, putting on my dad's.
Wait. You were married?
I was married.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just me and my son and my dad. And
so you have custody of your kid?
Yeah, 100%. She left. She up and left.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's all right. So anyway, so back to this crazy update, right? So I'm working at this small logistics company. I really like them, right? So basically, all they mess with is Fords, and that's my favorite. That's my favorite car. It's the brand, right? The company's Ford. Mm-hmm. And so I get to see the Ford Transit. I get to see they got the Maverick there. I get to see the I get the sprinters. I get all that, right? So when they got this, I'm not gonna say the two so on the smaller side where they do small deliveries and stuff with small packages. I'm not gonna say the two big clients that have different sub clients that they deliver for. I'm not gonna say their names because I you know what I mean. I don't want to put it out there like that. But
I get you.
I can text it to you. I can text it to you.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, they do long drives and it's small. It's a small package, and it's like critical parts and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after I got in the Maverick, you get about 500 miles for $50, right?
Okay.
So in my head, I'm like, man. So in my head, I'm like, well, in my head, I'm like, yo, what if I do DoorDash with that? It'll be profit all day, right? So
Okay.
so I ended up so that's pretty much I went to the dealership. I spoke to them. I told them my whole story and stuff. And so my thing is, and even though I know that they're trying to push me to go get one, I'm not gonna do it yet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna save up to buy it like out front, like completely straight. And by the time I have that money, the price will drop, right? Or at least go half and get one of those. But after I'm done handling like the debt that I have and stuff. So I was thinking maybe that's a good strategy right there, because what I can do, I can like I'm building. I already have a good relationship where I'm working, and I can build a good better relationship to where maybe I can still work there and have a driver go and do like the long deliveries and get one of those vehicles. You know what I mean? Because
James,
they do have
James,
independent people
James.
that used to work for them.
I've been listening, bro, but now I gotta cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off right there.
But I also supplement to like doing, because I live by like universities and stuff. So I was thinking too, like supplementing, maybe
You
trying to
just
get
told
into
me
studio moving.
you just told me you want to get a pickup truck to do DoorDash.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, like there's like, for example, there's a lot of ways to move the vehicle, right? So I was thinking I can like supplement this and that, but I can try to see, like I can like try to get the vehicle first, obviously, and then see what I can do with it. So like always make sure that it's moving.
James, no. You do what you want, but I think the last thing you should do is buy a new car, even though it's an inexpensive. Well, to me, it's a very inexpensive truck. But
They start at 21,000.
I understand. That's why I said inexpensive. It's an inexpensive.
It's an inexpensive. I can use that as a personal too.
Yeah, but it's not. Here's the thing. I think you want it more for personal use and aesthetics than you actually want to utilize it to work. And this is.
Well, I can also get another hoopty instead.
Here's what I'm saying, James. Listen. I just listened to your whole year and a half. Like, you just told a lot. You did a lot and quit a lot in the past year and a half. Here's the thing. I think you give up very easily, right? I think you don't actually take the proper steps in going into things, right? From your box truck business, you went and you did DSP. You quit the second day because you wanted to drive a specific truck. Like, to me, like, that's insubordination. Like, you're there to make money. You don't have anything. You just lost all your money,
right.
And you're upside down in your box truck. So who gives a fuck what truck they send you in? You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, who are you to say, yo, I ain't driving that truck. Put me in this truck and I'm quitting. Like to me, when you said that, I'm just in my head.
Well, there was more to it. There was more to it though.
But here's the thing. If I'm fucked up, I lost everything and I'm upside down. These people were gracious enough to give me a job so that I can build back up. I'll go shovel shit out of an alley. I would do whatever I needed to do to get back to glory. Whatever whatever it is that, listen, I will literally shovel shit. If I'm getting paid to do it and I'm fucked up and I don't have shit, I'm going to do whatever it takes. So if I'm going there and they're hiring me to drive a truck to drop off some fucking Amazon packages in the middle of the night from one Amazon to another Amazon and probably some post offices. You think I give a fuck what truck they put me in?
You shouldn't.
So
You should just go ahead and do what you
so
gotta
you
do.
shouldn't. So you walked away from an opportunity on the second day because of a truck. You
No, I
wanted
did.
a
Listen,
prettier
I did
truck.
listen. This is what happened. I did the route, and I did it in the truck that they wanted me to do it in. The thing was, it was just the way that the whole argument started because of the way that he was talking to me. He was talking a little crazy. So that's why I kind of argued with him. You know
But
what I
here's the
mean?
thing, James. But here's the thing. And I'm gonna cut you off because I listened to everything, and that you brought that up, and I was gonna touch on that. You said a few times in this live stream you just don't want to work for nobody, James. I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't have a choice. All right, hold
That's
on,
true. But
James.
I'm doing that. I know. You're right. I
Hold on.
don't have a choice.
You don't
You're
have a
right.
choice, and when it comes to working for companies, you're going to have to deal with delegation. That's
It's true.
listen. You had your run in the sun with being a business owner, and I'm being honest with you. It wasn't for you. There's a lot of decisions, even with working a job under authority, you're not making the right decisions. And you don't even have to make the decisions. They're telling you what to do, and the only thing you have to do is be subordinate and do it, and you're insubordinate. You see what I'm saying? Then you said something that you signed a contract with Selectus for $6,000 because it sounded like the work would be easier. You're looking to get rich with doing very, very minimal work. You don't want to work for nobody. You said that numerous of times, and you get jobs and you're insubordinate. The workload is heavy, this, that, and the third. But I'm here to tell you. If you're not willing to work for a company because the work is hard, you'll never be a successful business owner because the work is even harder. That run that you said was in the mountains and it was heavy as hell and no one wants to do it. Running a business, however hard you thought that was, running a business is going to be 10 times hard. I understand you never really got a chance to fully experience, 100% of what running a business is because you entered in and you exited out swiftly. But getting to this point now with where you're working at and you're talking about getting a brand new Ford Maverick to do DoorDash, that doesn't even make sense. You got two cars right there that's in front of you that are accessible. Maybe you're not doing DoorDash the right way. Maybe you shouldn't be taking every run. Maybe if they're sending you, how does DoorDash work? When they send you something, do you see where you're going? Do they let you know the distance, or is it like blind?
They're slick. They let you know, but they give you like 3 seconds to accept or something like that.
So
you know what I mean?
So maybe you should accept certain things that make sense and not accept things that don't make sense.
That's
right?
That's a strategy.
Why don't you try other opportunities? Why don't you go to Amazon Flex? Right? Amazon Flex, you're in Newark, New Jersey. Maybe the routes over there are a little bit condensed. What I'm saying is there's plenty of opportunities that you can utilize your personal vehicle to make money with different gig apps. If DoorDash is not working, you said it pays $2 to $3. Is that what you told me? It pays $2 to $3 a stop, right?
Yeah.
All right. So why don't you go? So why don't you try Amazon Flex, where you're gonna go there? They're gonna give you a multitude of stops, volume. You stuff, and the routes will probably be a little bit more condensed instead of you waiting on a ding, driving across town to go to White Castles to drive. Because I order shit that from restaurants that may be 5 or 10 miles away, and I be wondering sometimes, damn, I wonder if somebody gonna want to bring that all the way here. But I learned the trick to just put the tip in up front, right? Because the price, I guess, goes up, and then I noticed that more people accept the order when I order something from far away. When I wait to put the tip to the end, now it makes sense because you told me what you get paid, right? So,
right.
If they're only paying you $2 to $3, why don't you go to somewhere like Amazon where you may get, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 stops, smaller packages, and the routes are probably a little bit more tighter, and you're not waiting to get a ding to go to a restaurant on this side of town, to drop it off on the other side of town, to have to go back to another side of town to pick something. Like you gotta try different things. The last thing you need to go do, and I'm telling you this because I fuck with you, you know what I'm saying, is go buy a brand new car. You haven't deemed yourself responsible that you're going to be able to make the notes. And then the reason why you want to buy the vehicle is to do Grubhub or DoorDash, I mean. And on with the possibility of sourcing other opportunities to do gig work. You don't go buy a new car to do gig work. Now, if you told me you was buying it to maybe go do ride sharing, I would probably be like, all right, well, that's a little bit better. But then I would still tell you, I don't think that's a good idea. But that would make more sense of doing that than actually doing some Grubhub. You see what I'm saying? You got two cars behind you, and you not deemed yourself financially responsible. You have a hard time accepting authority and keeping work. So to take on that responsibility, right? And you telling me that you got full custody of a little man, like that's
well, there's I never told you like everything. You know what I mean? Like I don't want you to think that I'm coming off as a person who doesn't work hard.
No, and you don't have to.
You know what I
mean? But the reason why I talk to you and I give you this information
because it sounds like that's
because
wrong.
It's clear you ain't got people around you that is giving you the correct information, or you maybe don't have anybody around you
No, I don't
at all that you can talk to
at all.
Right, so this is why, and I could tell. So this is why I'm spending the time to kick it with you. I'm kicking it with you. You feel what I'm saying? Listen. You got to crawl before you walk, and you got to accept the reality that, yo, where you want to be, where you thought you was going to get to with the box truck business, you'll never get there, all right? In order to be a good leader, first you got to be a good follower, right? Before I started my box truck business, I had a few jobs prior, and each job that I had, I worked at the Gap. Through college, I worked at Target. I worked for an advertising firm, and then I worked for a buddy that owned a local clothing and cell phone shop right back in the 2000s. But each place that I worked, each place that I worked, I learned operations, I learned HR, I learned how to deal with people, I learned customer service, I learned a bunch of things. I had to take that delegation. I had to have people tell me what to do. I had to have my eyes and ears open to see how upper management handles situations and things like that, so that when I got into that position, a lot of the things that I learned along the way, I was able to implement that stuff in my business. But I was once told what to do. And in order for me to be a good leader, I once was a good follower. You don't want nobody telling you what to do. You keep saying you don't want to work for nobody. And a lot of people in your age range say the same thing. But here's the thing. Running a business ain't for everybody, because you're going to be met with a lot of challenges. And one thing that I know is when I talk to you is you don't do well under stress and adversity. When Kirk didn't answer the phone, you just booked whatever. You didn't chill out. You didn't wait. You didn't wait to see. You didn't give him a chance to call you back. Shit, you didn't even try to blow his line down. I would have rather blew his line down like a Brenall. I'd have rather blew his line down like a Brenall before I just upped and, booked some shit, because he didn't answer the phone. I would have blew his line up like I was a broad before I did that. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't have just made that rash decision, because that decision, you don't do, because that's why I just let you talk, and I consumed everything you're selling so that I can kick it with you right now. You don't do well under pressure. As soon as you get hit with some pressure, you fold. And as a business person, shit, you getting hit with pressure all the time. And you got to know how to handle this. A lot that comes with being a business owner is problem solving. I say it all the time. Every day you're going to be met with problems that got to be solved. Every day. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't think you should get this brand new car. And I mean, you do what you
No,
want,
I haven't. I
but
I haven't gotten it. I was
you do what you
just
want,
the thought
but
of like just knowing how many miles per gallon it gets, how much it costs
that
to
that
fill it up. You know what I mean?
that that
That's all
that
I'm
that,
saying.
that's fine and
But
dandy, but that comes with a responsibility too. It's not expensive,
hmm
but for you it may be expensive. And that's another responsibility, and you quitting jobs because you don't want to drive a specific truck. Like, come on, James. I think you
no,
need to
I know what you're saying.
I think
But
you need to
I
do what you
listen before I started. Listen, Mark. The reason why I used
the
to, I go ahead. Look, you go ahead, finish. Then I'll talk.
I think
I'll
you
let you
need to
finish.
do I think you need to do what you're doing, and I think when you're not doing that, your job for your active income, I think at the end when you get off work, I think you need to find something that's passive or for extra money to supplement that. I would go try Amazon Flex. I would download a multitude of apps, and every day I would see who's offering the best opportunity for you to maximize your income, right? And
Hmm.
I would utilize
Right.
what you already have right in front of you or right behind you. Those two vehicles that are being offered to you to do whatever it is that you need to do to earn income, bro. I think your priorities is backwards. I think you need to build up your capital, right? Because you got a job, you
Hmm.
can supplement that with gigs. And I think the last thing that should be on your mind is purchasing a brand new pickup truck. And I'm just keeping it a buck with you. You know what I'm saying? So you always come back around when you want advice. You disappear, then you come back around when you need mentorship and advice. So I'm kicking it with you. And I'm telling you what you should do. I think you'll be back on top. I think you could run up a quick 10 piece in no time, but you're going to have to put your head down and get to it and make better decisions.
I hear you.
But what were you finna say though?
Well, for all right. What I wanted to say is I don't want to come off as like for you to think that I'm not a hard worker. So when I first met you and I used to ask a lot of questions, I was an employee, right? And I mean, I've been the best employee. I've got best peak season drivers. I got awards. I was a FedEx manager. I created routes. I went on like the map and I cut the routes. I spoke to drivers. I did. I was a manager. I did all that. You know what I mean? Um, so I don't want you to think that I'm not willing to work hard to get there, right? But I'm pretty sure that, like for example, I'm pretty sure everybody has this problem. So I don't have an issue with work. I don't have an issue with labor. I don't have my main issue is people sometimes, right? I I find great people and I have no issue with them. And then I find bad people and I have a big issue with them. So that's my main issue. But I know how to maneuver in between. But sometimes I don't just let people have their way with me. So that's how that one situation had went. And it doesn't matter if I'm dry. Like it doesn't matter what my financial situation is. It could be today or tomorrow. You know, if you want respect, you got to give respect. So that's how I go. I speak to people very kindly, very nicely, but when they talk to me crazy, I usually nowadays I don't say nothing. I just walk away, right? And that's basically um how that went. But that's why I don't want you to think that um you know like I've so basically the guy that I used to manage for at FedEx, when I got there, his business was a poop show, right? It was a poop show. So I went, I fixed the routes, I talked to drivers, and then when it was my turn to sit back and get paid, and all I got to do is come in, maybe do 2 3 deliveries and go home and make sure the business is running smoothly. He sold it like you're saying now, had an issue with the new owner, right? The way that he just spoke to me, stuff like that. So I don't want you to think that like I'm kind of not that smart. You know what I mean? So I'm
I
just
don't. I'm not
letting you
saying
know.
I don't think you smart, James. But here's my issue with what you're saying, and I have this issue with a lot of people in your age category. Y'all always talk about y'all don't want to work. See, y'all come from a generation where you know
I don't mind working for one person
Hold
for
on,
the rest
hold
of.
on, hold
Like, if I find a
on,
job, Mark, and it's the
hold on.
right boss,
But you,
I'll work for the
but
rest of my
here's the
life for
thing.
him.
You said you have an issue with people. When you start a business, you build a business. You're gonna deal with people. You're gonna deal with
Right.
vendors. You're gonna deal with third parties that may be servicing you or your business may be
That's true.
servicing. You're gonna deal with employees. Each
You don't
employee.
keep the bad ones
Hold on,
around
hold on, hold
forever,
on, hold
though.
on, hold on, hold on. Each employee has a different personality. See, that's the thing.
Mhm.
If you watch the channel and you've listened to me talk about employees, I brought employees up. I've always talked about every single employee that worked for me had a different personality. Every single person. And you have to deal with each person differently. You got this person who's having issues at home with his wife. You got these people on the truck, they don't get along. You got I got another group of people on the truck, they from different neighborhoods and different gangs. I got this group of people on the truck where this guy is taking the tips because he feels like he's working harder than the other two guys, and he's taking the payment from the customer, and that customer is giving them the tips to distribute amongst the guys, and he's looking at the total and he's giving these guys what he feels like they deserve. Each person has a different personality. As an owner, you got to deal with each person accordingly. You can't be like, well, I don't feel like dealing with this person because I don't like his thought process. I don't like his shoes, or I don't like his wife. He may be a good worker. You dig what I'm saying? But you got to deal with him accordingly. Each person you have to have a different relationship with. It's just like when you watch a basketball game and you will watch LeBron. LeBron got 50 handshakes. He got a different handshake for each player on the team. You're going to have a different relationship with every single other person. The relationship that you may have with this person may not be the same with this relationship. The part of being a business owner, you got to have a finesse about yourself, right? What I've always been good at, especially dealing with employees, is finessing people into doing what I need them to do. All right? So
I'm already getting next level training right now.
But see, here's the thing. You gotta know it from both sides of the equation.
It's hard.
Hold on. No, it ain't hard. It ain't hard. It's actually easy. The thing what you gotta understand down is you gotta stay down before you can come up. If you're not willing to put the work in and do all the hard work and go through the struggle, like you never gonna get to the promised land, bro. Like that shit just ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen like motherfuckers is telling you online and you see in the movies. That shit ain't gonna fall out of thin air. This shit is a grind, bro. It's a sacrifice. It's a grind. You're gonna give up some shit. You're gonna sacrifice some shit. The more you hustle, the more you grind, the more you sacrifice, the quicker you'll start to see things turn around. And you're not even gonna realize shit turning around for you because you're gonna be so entrenched in the fucking grind of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna look up and boom, you gonna damn, where did the time go? And you're gonna see where you was at and see where you at now. You ain't gonna realize it happened for you. But you can't be turning away opportunities because you don't. This truck is the new DSP Amazon truck with what they got at the turbo diesel. I seen one the other day with the big turbo diesel tank, and they putting you in one of the older trucks. Well, I don't want the older truck. I want that new one.
Yeah. As a manager, I would, if I was I would fire a driver. You're right. I would. You know what I mean?
You were insubordinate.
That's the only thing that's available. And he doesn't want to do it.
You were
I'll do it, but
here's the thing. You're insubordinate. You got hired there to go deliver packages. I don't care if they put you in a pink motherfucking box truck that said Pride with a fucking rainbow on it. If that's what they put you in, man, at the end of the day, you got a shorty at the crib and you upside down. You just lost your box truck business. You in debt, nigga. Drive that pink ass Pride rainbow box truck and get that money.
I hear you.
And not worry about all the other shit. You there to do a job and go home, right? You there, you got a plan. Right. See, you ain't even going into that with a plan. Listen, I'm finna come here, whatever OT they got, whatever they need me to do, I'm gonna work this, I'm gonna run it up because I got a plan. Like, bro, you gotta have a plan, and you gotta put, like, you ain't in a position to say what you can and can't do. You gotta get to that point when you could turn shit down. You ain't in that point and you ain't got nothing. It ain't about, listen, when you working for a job, you're going to have some fucked up and some rude, snotty bosses. You're going to have some people that have an air about themselves. You're going to have people that, because they're in a certain position, they're going to look down on you. And you're going to feel it. And I know it sucks. I know it sucks, right? Because I've been in that position that you've been in, and I've been that person. Not that person as far as management, but that person as far as ownership, right? Right? So I've been on both sides of the equation. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
And it sucked. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed after graduation at Target as a stock manager. I hated them because the executive managers in there, they really didn't like me. I really didn't like them. And I just hated the job. But I needed the money, bro. I needed the money. I had went out. I had this truck note I had to pay. You know, no one was giving me an opportunity. And it was either go to work for those 8 hours and deal with those people and be stuck in that fucking back room on a forklift and stocking shelves and managing a bunch of fucking employees back there that didn't like me either, right? Or be broke, right? So I put my head down and I did what I had to do, right? And I continued to do that until God put me in a position. When he put me in the position, I ran with it. But a lot of the shit that I learned and I endured, when I got that opportunity, everything that I went through prior was a setup for when that opportunity came. All that, like, God ordered every single thing for me. So shit that didn't make sense for me when I was going through it back then, it makes sense to me now. It makes sense to me when he actually rewarded me for everything he put me through. Everything he put me through was preparation. You going through the test and you don't even want to fucking take the test. You got to get through the storm in order to fucking see the rainbow at the end.
You're right.
So, you know, you can't say what you don't want to do. Motherfucker give you a job and you talking about, oh, I don't want to drive that truck. What? Motherfucker, you come work for me and I tell you take truck 3 or take truck 4 or take truck 5 and you tell me you don't want to drive it. Oh, I want to drive the new truck. Mark, man, go take your ass home.
You're right, Mark. You're right. You are. But so the way I see it is, there's a way you're gonna ask me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody asks me crazy and talks to me crazy, then I would, like, at the end of the day, I rather go to bed. I rather go to bed.
Oh yeah, you tweaking, bro. You tweaking.
You know what I
Where
mean?
my button at? Where my button?
You tweaking.
So you gonna go to bed instead of go make the money, bro?
No, what I'm saying is I rather have a clear mind going home knowing that, like, for example, like
Wait. No, you said you
like
rather go to bed.
I'm in,
You
like,
said you rather
I'm gonna
go
give
to
you an
bed.
example.
James, you said you
I'm in
rather
a
go to
better
bed.
situation now, right? I'm in a better situation now, and there were
I
other
hear
jobs
you.
I had to put up with too. So,
I get
but
it,
I
but
hear what you're saying.
man,
But
person
at
could
the end of
tweak
the
with
day,
me.
if
They could
somebody
tweak with
comes
me.
in
That shit gonna
to
go
work,
in one ear out the other. I'm not finna let nobody trick me up out my bag. Is you crazy? Somebody trying to trick you up out your bag and you tell me I'm gonna let them trick me up out my bed. I'm just finna go home broke and go to bed. Hell nah.
well, I don't mean it like that. What I'm
You
trying to
just
say is,
said it, James.
I'd rather go to bed with peace of mind. You know what I mean?
Nigga, I'd
Versus
rather
having
go to bed.
every
I'd rather
single
go to
day.
bed with a bag. Cause I'm gonna sleep a little bit better. I'm gonna sleep a little bit better because you know what? Sleeping broke, trying to sleep broke, you can't sleep. You tossing and turning. You worrying because the bills is due. You trying to
I know
wonder
what you mean.
where the bread is gonna come from. Don't tell me you one of them people that but that goes back to what I was saying
This how
earlier.
I see it.
Hold on, no.
Look,
That goes back to what I was saying earlier. When you get faced with adversity, you run. You like one of those people who just want to go to sleep. You're not the people every time something happens, they just go to sleep. Like you want to sleep the problems away or some shit. Man, when you gonna wake up, that shit still gonna be there. That shit still gonna be there when you wake up. Man, bro, that shit still gonna be there when you wake up. Nigga, I sleep peaceful at night. I sleep like a baby. You see what I'm saying? I sleep like a baby. Nigga, I wake up. That AC blowing.
I'm the type of
I
employee
sleep
that
like a baby.
I would rather get paid
No.
$3-4 less and go into work and have a smooth day than have to go into some nonsense and get paid
Oh
more.
Lord, have
That's
mercy.
just that's
Listen.
the type of employee that I am at this stage. Like I'd rather just go into work and get paid less than to deal with less than to go in and have to deal with nonsense. You know what I mean? That's just the type of employee that I am now. Before, trust me, before I was like I would come in, I want to be the superstar. I was the best driver. That got me nowhere. You know what I mean? That all that got me was a plaque here. That got me some experience. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I want to work on myself and try to figure out this whole situation with the business. Then just go into work and have a smooth day. You know what I mean? And come home with some money, obviously. But
Bro, well, you a
that's just the way. That's
smooth
the way I
day,
see it.
bro,
Yeah, I just want to go into work, have a
bro,
smooth day, and come home with some money. Like I'd
bro.
rather get paid less
Do me a favor. Do me a favor.
and
Do me a favor.
have time
James,
to think
James,
throughout the
James,
day and
James,
what
James,
I'm
James,
gonna do.
James, 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 James,
But
James, 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 James. Shh. Shh. Listen, I don't care if you work a job or you run a business. Every day ain't gonna be smooth. More times than not, running a business, every day is gonna be a challenge. Every day. But see, this is why, your tenure in business was short lived. You see what I'm saying? You have to listen,
I see what
life
you're
ain't
saying.
easy. Life ain't easy. You have to create, if you want your life to be easy, you have to make it easy. Right? It doesn't, if you weren't born entitled, if you weren't born into a well-to-do family, right? You have to make life easy for yourself, right? You start off rough, you have to make it easy, right? And making it easy is going to come with challenges. If you're working for a job, every day ain't going to be the same. You're going to it's work. Work is work, bruh. You're going to
No, I know
deal
what
with
you mean.
people. You're going to have management that's going to put heavy workloads on you. You're going to have to deal with
That's the hardest part
stress
of going
and
to work.
strain. But here's the thing: it's just, you got to work. Where
Well,
where
I'm
do you
glad where
think?
I'm working now is smooth. I'm telling you
Well,
that much.
fine.
I'm glad that it's smooth right now.
We'll stay there then. But
Jesus Christ.
bro, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Like, you telling me you want to come back into trucking? How?
Well,
How?
but what? Listen, um, there have been days that I've been at this new job. There have been days where I'm like, man, like the way that I was moving before, I was coming in here, I was asking questions. At that time, Mark, I used to have about $5,000-7,000 in stock, right? So I like that you talk about that stuff because I sold about 1,000 shares of a penny stock that's about $8 now. 14 almost was like 4, you know what I mean? So
Mm.
so I like the way that I was moving. Like I was actually for a long time now I've been wanting so when I first went to community college, I was taking remedial classes. I graduated high school with a 1.0, and I asked to repeat my senior year, right?
Wait.
But when I went to community,
You graduated high school with a
yes.
1.0. Why?
But check this
You
out.
couldn't. You
Check
can't
this out.
Hold on. You can't comprehend, or you weren't going to school doing the work. Which one? Do you have a learning
I wasn't
disability?
doing the work. No.
Okay.
Listen, I went to community college and I got on the dean's list. I had almost straight A's. All right. But I started off with remedial classes, like classes where you learn how to read, how to add and subtract. You start from the bottom. So when I went to community college, I ended up on a dean's list. All right. But the moral of the story is that when I first met you, like I was an employee, I had no issues, this and that. I was like on a smooth path, and all I was trying to do was trying to learn. And so ever since I met you, and a little bit, because when I was going to community college, I had no clue. I switched my major like every month. I had a new major, right? So I had no clue what I wanted to do,
You
and I'm
switch your
glad.
major every month.
Give or take. I mean, every 2
But
months,
see,
3 months. But
see that go
I
that
didn't
that
know what I
proves,
wanted to do.
but
Right?
that proves everything that I keep telling you. You go into everything without a plan. I just told you that 20 minutes ago. Everything
Yeah, you're right.
you go into, you don't have a plan. You have to have a plan, even with your job.
I'm
What's
getting
your
that
plan for
together.
your
I'm getting
job?
that together, Mark. I'm
No,
trying to
you
get a
should
plan
have
together.
that. You need to have a plan for everything you do. You go sign up for community college with no plan. You switch your major every month. You don't know what you want to do. You have to take some time, sit down, and plan, bro. This is why you all over the place. This is why you can't accomplish anything. This is why you can't finish anything, because you don't have a plan. I know what the rest of my week looks like. I'm 6 months ahead. Literally, I'm celebrating New Year's Eve right now in my mentally, that's where my mind is at. I'm past the election. I'm past Halloween. I'm always ahead, right? Because I'm planned. I'm well thought out. I'm calculated. I know what tomorrow I'm doing. I know what Friday I'm doing. I know what the fuck I'm eating Saturday. I know what the hell I got to do Sunday, because I'm playing, bro. I don't. You
I know
can't,
what you
like,
mean.
you can't go into things just willy nilly and just expect things to always fall in line. You got to have a plan, bro. This is
The
why you
best word
can't
to describe
accomplish
myself
anything,
for
and
now
this is
is
why the things they.
unorganized.
Well,
I
you need to get
I
you need to
totally
get
agree. I
organized,
totally
bro.
totally
You
agree.
you
I'm
need to
unorganized.
you need to get organized, and I'm wishing you the best. I mean, I love talking to you. You never cease to amaze me, but you always come around when you need this guidance, and hopefully you listen. Your thing is you don't listen. You would still be in your box truck business right now if you would have listened, and you wouldn't have jumped the gun, and you wouldn't ran off emotions and just making sporadic decisions. And you got to listen, bro. You have to listen. You have to be plan things, bro.
Well, I'm more open minded now. Definitely much more open minded. You know.
Anything else you want to talk about, James?
That's it. I just want just come and give you an update.
Man, I want you to win, James, man. I do. I really want you to win.
Thanks, Mark. Hey, Mark. I got a question. Um,
Yep.
on the YouTube, did you take down the courses?
Mm-hmm.
You took them down, right? Because I try to click on it, it doesn't go through.
Yeah, I do. You got to come on the call-in show if you want coaching now.
Okay.
You got to come on the call-in show. It's the only way I'm doing it. You know why, James? I'm gonna tell you why. Because a lot of people that would come for coaching, I really didn't do many, maybe a handful a month, but majority of the people that would book coaching sessions with me, they were kind of similar to you. Not as bad as you, but everybody wants this silver bullet. And I don't have a silver bullet. I only have the answers that you need for starting, building, and scaling your business, right? Right. And everything that I give people, they have to apply it and work it, right? For some reason, people have this mindset similar to yours where everything is supposed to be easy and you're going to instantly have the gratification of being successful and rich in your box truck. And, you know, I just don't want to waste my time on that. So, I can still coach people, but they got to come up on the call-in show, and they have to get coached in front of the community.
Cool.
I see that it's more. I see it. I see people take it serious when they're being held accountable in front of the community and their peers than
I see what you're
behind
saying. The
the
scenes.
scenes, right? So,
Well,
uh,
I've never asked you for a golden ticket.
Well,
Like,
here's the
you know what I mean?
thing.
I'm not asking you.
You
I'm not asking you to give me like this and that. Like,
well
I'm
here
just.
here's the thing. I just gave
I'm
you. I
trying to.
just what?
No, I know what you mean, but I'm not. I'm like. I'm not. I'm not trying to ask for a golden ticket. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here to learn. Like, I'm not here just asking you like,
Right.
oh, what's the secret sauce? What's the recipe? Right?
See,
I'm just here to
and there
just.
and
And
there
if it
is
takes
no
time, if it takes time to take little bits to learn, that's what it takes. Like, it is what it is.
and
It's
there
cool.
is no there is no secret sauce, so to speak. But as you educate yourself in most things, life starts to become easier, right? When you
Mhm.
first start making money and you don't understand how money works, you may not make as much money as you would once you actually start understanding money, learning money, and understanding that money is a tool, and then you transfer your mindset from making money to having money work for you, right? When
Mhm.
you educate yourself and you learn and you get experience, then that's when things start to get easier, right? Um, and that's with any business. That's just within life it itself, right? Your thing is you come and I give you all the tools that you need. It's just you gotta listen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta listen.
Mhm.
You gotta put this shit in your back pocket. Take it with you. Still dissect it on your own. Never take anything anybody says at face value. Period. Unless you have
Right.
experience with this person for a length of time and everything this person has told you has come into fruition, or you've applied all this information, you have a rapport with this person, you've applied this information, it always pans out. Then more so, but just random people that you meet on the internet, even if the shit does sound good, still do your due diligence, take it, spend some time with it, dissect it, right? Before
Right.
you just, you know, apply it. You know what I'm saying? So I think you just need to just
You,
reassess
I appreciate
your
you, Mark. You
yeah,
know what drives
I
me crazy? You know what drives me crazy sometimes when I come and watch your videos
what's
is
that?
when you say I might give this up. I might
Give
give
what
up the
up?
channel. like like
Well,
that drives me
sometimes
crazy. I'm like, oh
what
man, I met the
well
goat. Now he's gonna
well
quit.
well sometimes I feel like that, right? But I have good people around me. And this is why I say, yo, always keep good people around you. And the people that I'm talking about aren't in the community. These are people in real life, my homies,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? My my OGs. You know what they always say to me? Man, you can't stop the channel. It's a lot of people that depend on you and your information. You got to keep going, right? Uh but sometimes like listening to shit, like you'll see me on some of them call-in shows where I just be frustrated. Like I be frustrated. It be written all over my face. And I've spent time with people on, so I remember one lady, I spent over 2 hours with her on a call-in show. I didn't want to get off the call until she understood what I was telling her. Some people it takes a little bit more time, right? And it frustrates me that people come into business and they think this shit is sweet and they think it's peaches and cream, right? And it frustrates me that in this whole sector of content creation and space, it's more people feeding people with misinformation and misleading people. And I'm in a small sector of people that's actually giving people the real and the experience. So it's like me against everybody else. And then once people follow all the bullshit and that shit doesn't work and they fall victim like you, then they find my shit. And then I gotta help them unlearn all the bullshit, break them down, and then build them back up. That shit is time consuming, it's frustrating,
Tiring.
and it's tiring. But I put my
I
foot in
feel you.
some shit now, and I gotta see it through.
Yeah, I hope you stay.
But
You know,
overall I do
it's
enjoy it. But there's some times where it just gets overwhelming and overbearing, and it just becomes frustrating. So, like dealing with you is frustrating, man. It's frustrating, bro.
Don't worry, it's gonna get easier. I'm gonna
I
listen.
gotta
All
go.
right.
I gotta go take me a shot of some a nail after I get off the like to calm my nerves, man. After I get off the lab with you, bro. Straight up.
Nah,
I gotta go
it's not that
get.
serious, Mark.
I gotta go. I gotta calm my
It,
nerves, man.
don't worry, don't worry. It's not that serious. Don't worry. I'm in a better place than I was. Listen, even though I have less than when I started, I feel like I'm in a better place. Honestly,
That's good.
with the
That's.
experience, with the way how I'm feeling, the way my job is going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I
So
think keep working, bro. I think box truck bit, and I'm keeping it a buck with you. And somewhere out there somebody watching may disagree with me, but I don't think right now.
right now, no,
I
I
don't
know
think
it's not.
running.
I
I
agree.
don't think running a
I agree.
business for you. And the reason why has
I have
nothing
no
to
capital. I
do.
can't do it
No,
either.
fuck the
You know what I
capital.
mean?
Fuck the capital.
I have.
Listen to me. Listen. Check this out. 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 Forget the money. I don't care if you had the money. You could tell me you had a hold on. You could tell me you had $1 million right now, and I would tell you don't do it. You know why? Because you don't have the mindset. And whether you have the capital or don't have, you could have the capital, and if you don't have the right
It's
mindset,
true.
you'll fail again.
You'll lose all the capital.
You'll fail again.
Hey, Mark, I got a question. Um, so because like you said, I didn't have a chance to see how the business ran and stuff. Running a business, is it similar to being a manager? If you're a great
No.
manager, do you think you can be a great owner or no?
There's managers that can't be good business owners. Management is a great stepping stone to possibly one day
Being a,
being an owner, but I've come across some managers that could never be good business owners. If you're asking me, you thinking about taking a position as a manager, and that's going to give you the training to be a good business owner, then no, I
because I
can't.
was I was a great manager.
Okay, but if you were you a manager prior to being a business owner?
Yes,
Okay, well now you prove my
there's
point.
my answer.
Because even as a manager, you had upper management over you, so you were
I
still
had no
under some
authority. I had no authority. Like I couldn't
right. So
really
you
send somebody home because.
under delegation. Like there were people above
Mhm,
you that were delegating you what
mhm,
to do. Right. So being a business
mhm.
owner, every decision you're pretty much making, even if you have middle management under
Gotcha.
you, right, that are making these decisions, they're presenting them to you to sign off on them, you still have the ultimately you still have the final decision, right? So being a business owner, successful business owner, like you mentally you gotta have a mindset for it. You gotta have a mind frame there. And that's why I'm telling you I don't think you're ready. You just don't I'm just keeping it funky with you. I think you for like me to tell you, yeah, go for it, I would be lying to you. I'll be bogus. I'll be bodine. You dig what I'm saying? And because I know you ain't mentally capable of running a business, bro. You dig what I'm saying? So no, I think you need to work. I think you need to get shit in order, and I think you need to get your mindset better before you try to take another run at uh,
I don't
this
think I want to
box
do a
truck
box truck
thing.
though, right now. Like I mean, even if I had the money, because like I just told you, I found something. Because I'm also a warehouse worker. I'm like a hybrid. I do a little bit of everything. I drive. I do the warehouse. I do a little bit of computer work here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, and I kind of like the idea of
Mm-hmm.
I mean the stuff that the two accounts that this guy found and got. It's pretty cool. You know, like it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's
and
cool.
I also and it's like and for example, the vehicles are affordable. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
And it's I'm saying a brand new vehicle. Let's just say even if like I'm not trying to get a vehicle because it's brand new and all that. I just thought in my head I'm like, well,
Where do you work at? You work at like a plant or some shit, like a Ford
no,
plant or something?
I work at a logistics company, like literally freight,
Oh,
like a logistics,
okay.
but it's a small logistics company.
Why you keep talking about these new vehicles, bro?
No, but what I'm just trying to say is like I don't want you to think that I like it because it's brand new. I'm just saying I like it because of the miles per gallon. So it has nothing to
James,
do with it has nothing to do with that. It's just the idea of like, for example, because it's affordable. If I was, or even if I was to get a used one, you know what I mean. If I was to save up and get that, so that I can be like a independent delivery guy. You know what I mean, and just try to do that.
this is exactly why I don't think you should run a business. Your
Well,
mindset is
I don't have a full
your
business plan yet. I
mindset
don't have
is
it all
on
written out.
a new vehicle, bro. And that should be the furthest thing from your mind. How much money you got saved up right now, James?
It should be about like $5,000 as soon as I get my tax return.
But how much money you got now? You got $5,000 now?
No, I got about half. I got like
All right.
20, 28,
Okay,
27.
so guess what? You shouldn't be thinking about a new truck. You shouldn't be thinking about
No,
a
I
new
know,
car.
I know, I know.
Last thing you should be thinking about is a new truck.
What
If
I
you
would
think
like to
about
do
if you
from
think
here
about
on out is buying
car,
stuff straight out instead of
okay,
trying to do like rentals and stuff.
but that takes money.
Right, it takes time.
It takes
It
money,
take
and
it
you know
takes
what? You got to earn the money. All right. So this is what
right.
I'm saying. You ain't there, bro. Big dog. Listen, I need you to put your head down. I need you to go get it. You see right now while you talking to me, you should be
I
out
know.
getting it. See how you up and wide awoke. You shouldn't even be talking to me right now. You should be out getting it. You listen. You don't have the luxury to be sitting right there even talking to me and not talking to me because no. Not
You're
like
right. You're
that. Like no.
100% right, Mark. I know
No. Let me understand you. Not talking to me like I'm somebody important. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you shouldn't have the luxury to even have free time right now. You should be out getting it. If
You're
you're
right.
woke right now and you're up, you should be getting it.
I mean, I hit 70-hour weeks, hit 70, 60, between 60, 80 hours.
That's good. Well, you should do it every week. Every week you should do
Every
it.
week, Jesus Christ.
Every week you should do it. Hey, listen.
Mark trying to kill me.
Bro, listen.
Mark, Mark.
Check this out, bro. Let me. I ain't trying to kill you, bro. I wouldn't tell you nothing that I've never did, bro. Listen, I worked 70-hour weeks. I worked more than 70-hour weeks. I slept for 2 hours a day at one point. Since 18, I worked 2 full-time jobs and went to school full-time. Right? At the height of my trucking, I was barely sleeping. My earliest trucks left out the yard at 4:35 in the morning. My final mile trucks would leave 4 or 5 in the morning. Some of those routes would leave at 4 or 5 in the morning to get to a terminal for load out by 5:30, right? My moving truck sometimes wouldn't get back until after midnight.
Wow.
Sometimes I would spend the night at the.
You were almost
sometimes
a 24-hour
I was
service. Almost.
Listen. Sometimes I would spend the night at the yard. I talked about yesterday on the live. I talked about spending the night at the yard, and I prayed that the nights that I spent the night at the yard wouldn't be one of the nights somebody would try to break into the warehouse. Because the last thing I wanted to do was have to lay somebody down. I didn't want to do nothing like that. I prayed that if something did happen like that, would happen when we weren't there or I wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? So, like, it was nice where I literally spend the night there. That's why I had a leather sofa in my office. I would crawl up. I had a throw blanket, and I would sleep there. The last thing, I can't go home if I got a crew that's out, that's stuck on a move, and it's 1 in the morning, they still on it. Sometimes that happens like that, right? I'm sleeping in bed. I still got to close the job out. Everybody else gone home. This is what being an owner is like. My brother gone, Genesis gone, Stat gone, all the office staff is gone. I still got to be there when that job, whenever it gets complete, whether it's 1 or 2, to be able to close it out. If the customer wants to pay with a credit card, all that shit got to come through the office. I got to close it out. You dig? So
Was it like that when you first started?
no, it worked. You work your way up to that. When I first started, I would be out on some moves after midnight. I had a move that went overnight one time. I had a move that literally went to 6 a.m. the next morning. So
was that the California? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that was a local move. It was just a tough move. They had a lot of shit. They booked it last minute. It was an evening move. I was still a couple years in, and they were desperate. They told us one thing, and when we got there, it was something totally different. And that was a move that should have started in the morning, but because they were desperate, it was the end of the month. They had to be out by midnight. They had to take whatever was available. We took it because I was hungry. Like how you not hungry, I was hungry. We got there. We looking at this shit like, damn, this finna take all fucking the rest of the night. But we didn't know it was going to take that long. And then when we got to the drop off, it was a long carry. So we had about a quarter of a block walk to where the elevator was. We had to go up the freight elevator, and then it was like a block walk. It was like a big co-ed type building, and we had like a block, literally like a block from the freight elevator to where their unit was. And elevator buildings take longer than walk-ups because you got to touch the shit twice. You got to unload the truck, into the elevator, pack the elevator, go up 20, 30 flights or whatever it is, and then unload the elevator. And depending on how far the unit is from the elevator, push that shit there into the unit, move stuff around if need be, place it, set it up, assemble shit, go back down, go to the truck, start unloading with the next run. That shit takes longer versus going straight from the truck up 3 flights or up 2 flights straight into the unit. Takes longer, right? So when it's a long carry, that just made it take longer. Like, and they had so much shit and it just was an obstacle of a unit. It took all night. And guess what? It was the first of the month. That was the last day of the month, and I had a move scheduled at 8 o'clock the next morning. I had 2 moves to do that day, so I didn't even go to sleep.
You did work 2 days.
I didn't go to sleep. So here's the thing. This is what could I do? I'm gonna call the customer on the first and tell her, hey, I know it's the first of the month, so I know you got to move today. Your lease is up. There's probably somebody literally moving in this unit right after you move, but we were stuck on a move, and I literally just finished it 2 hours ago. So I'm tired. I'm going home, and I'm going to bed now. So good luck finding you a mover on June 1st, the first day of the month, when probably every moving company in the city is booked. I could have called and told her that, or I could have just thugged it out, got me a Red Bull, caffeine myself up, smacked myself in the face, and thugged it out and got that money. I'm not going to leave a couple $1,000s on the table. Yeah, and when we finished at the end of the day, I crashed. But I didn't crash like how you willing to crash. See, you willing to go home and go to sleep fucked up.
Like you said, you crashed with a bag.
I crashed because I was tired, but I had a bag.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I honestly, I used to be like that too. Like, I would go to work all the time, and I would do extra. I would stay late.
Hey, there's no reason.
And I actually worked. I worked 2 jobs.
I don't believe you.
I used to be like that, but
you never can be a beast. I don't know nobody that was ever a beast that went from a beast to a puppy.
You're looking at one, Mark.
Well, damn, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
I had one guy at FedEx. He's like, "Yo, you went from top dog to what?"
What? Before we go, what made you lose your motivation?
I'm asking myself that till this day, Mark. But the good thing is it's coming back. It's coming back slowly.
Bro, you gotta listen. The reason why I can be hard on you is because everything that I'm telling you to do, I've done it. Like, I'm not the person who's gonna sit up here and tell you to work hard, and I never worked hard. I worked very, very hard. right? I know what hard work is like. When I look back on some of the shit I did, even this story I'm telling you about, that overnight move, looking back on it, I'm like, dude, I don't know how that I did that. Yeah, obviously that had to be 2011, maybe 2010, 2011, maybe 2012. So I was somewhere between 30 and 32, right? So that was 14 years ago, right? Uh Obviously I wouldn't probably be able to do it now, but I probably would still be able to do it now. If I was in the mark now financially, fuck this shit, right? But if the mark now at 44 was fucked up, Mark would do it. Listen, I gotta get it, bro. If it's fucked up or get it, I'm gonna go get it. If the opportunity is there and you fucked up, you really don't have the luxury of saying what you're not willing to do.
You're 100% right.
So, you know,
Shame
I
on
think
me,
one
Mark.
day I think
Shame
one
on
day
me.
you can get back into the box show business. I just think that you got to change your mindset, bro. You got to change your mindset, like your whole mindset around. And I just, you know, we spend a lot of time on this channel talking to people like you and trying to figure out why y'all don't want to work. What is so bad about hard work nowadays? And for the life of me, I just don't understand this latter millennial generation. I don't understand Generation Z at all. Now, there's a few Generation Z that, you know, I come across on the channel that get out here and they work. So it ain't this I'm not speaking for the whole Generation Z. I'm not shitting on all of them, but majority of them, they ain't about shit. They don't want to work. You dig what I'm saying? Not all of them. The ones that work, y'all know who y'all are. But I don't understand why y'all late millennials and Generation Z, why you just don't want to work. If you work hard, very, very hard, you'll be surprised how fast things will pick up and start working in your favor, to the point you won't even realize it because you're so busy engulfed in the work. Like you ain't missing nothing out here. Ain't shit out here, bro. Nothing. So it's best to go to work, because I think a lot of people, they don't want to work because they feel like they're gonna miss something. Ain't shit out here.
Oh,
Ain't nothing out here. There's nothing you're gonna miss in the street. There's nothing online. I don't know what y'all think y'all gonna miss. Go to work, get to the money. That's it, bro.
I think that's the best advice.
Yeah. So go to work tomorrow and tell them, man, y'all got any OT, man? I'm gonna take all the OT y'all got. And that's it, bro. Like it ain't you ain't missing nothing, bro. Nothing out here, bro. Ain't shit out here. And you got a little man. Like you should be one to bust your ass. Pause.
No, I mean I do. It's just like kind of crashed a little bit, you know. The last
Man,
2 weeks.
nah,
Last two
man,
weeks,
you
I'm like,
can't
yo, I
do
gotta do 40, yo. I'm tired. Like I was
tired.
driving.
Man, I
Yeah,
ain't trying to
it's
hear that,
tired.
boy. Hey, go get you some of that.
70, 80
Go get
hours
you
a week.
go get you a sugar-free Red Bull. They got them 2 for $5 at the gas station. Don't get the flavor when it got too much
I
sugar.
take
Get
a
the
5 hour and a monster every day.
too much sugar, man. Go get you the sugar-free Red Bulls.
Those work better.
The sugar-free. Yeah, they sugar-free. You don't need all that
They're the
sugar.
light blue ones. The light blue ones, baby
You don't
blue
need
ones.
all that sugar. The baby blue and silver ones, bro. And thug it out like that, bro. Thug
All
it out
right.
like that. All right. I appreciate you, James.
I appreciate you too, Mark.
I appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger, man. You know, check in with us, man.
Listen, I just gotta get more. Listen, I really want to like watch you consistently. I'm just very unorganized right now. I'm very unorganized. That's like my main priority is to. I'm actually moving at the end of the month. Once I move, it's gonna be a little bit easier to get organized. But I really want to like literally get organized first. That's what I really want to do. But I do want to watch you consistently. Like I like watching your channel, you know. And it comes down to a lot of like it comes down to a lot why I'm unorganized is because like for example, I'm all like you said I'm all over the places. Not just with the whole business situation, like just everything. Like I just started going to the gym again, right? And then I switched my schedule, so I want to go in the morning. So everything's like kind of all out of whack. But my main priority is to get organized first, and I think that once I get organized and if I'm more of like a I don't like I'm more of like I want to do the same thing every day. So once something pushes me out of my routine, the whole week for me is messed up. So once I move and I get my routine down and everything starts going uh better, it'll be a lot easier.
Man, you need to get disciplined, bro. Just discipline yourself. That's all.
Hmm.
Just discipline. Still go to the gym, work, find time to go to the gym, right? Still work. See if you can get some extra hours. And if they don't have extra hours, see what gig out. I would recommend maybe downloading Amazon Flex. I would recommend downloading every gig app.
Hmm.
Find you some extra money and just keep working. If you work in 8 hours, right? It's just like you gotta break your day down, right? You work 8 hours, maybe you get an hour to 2 hours. I would recommend 2 hours, but if time doesn't allow it, maybe an hour in the gym, maybe 4 hours doing some gig shit. That's 12 hours, 13 hours. You know what I'm saying? At the gym, maybe 2 hours. That'll bring you to 14 hours. Travel in between, let's say maybe another hour or two. That's 16 hours. Family time at home, eating, showering, shit like that. Maybe,
Hey, you remember
maybe,
that one
maybe,
time
maybe,
you asked me about the shower at the truck stop? You was like, "Yo, you ain't showered?"
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You gotta keep your
yeah.
hygiene up, but you may get to a point where you only sleeping 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours a day. But you know what? Sometimes that has to happen, but it doesn't happen for long. You might have to sacrifice and do that for a couple years.
Yeah,
But it is what it is, James. This is
I know.
unfortunately, this is life. But you just gotta make better decisions and put your head down and just work, man. You still young. You 32, James. Listen, by the time you get my age, right, that'll give you 12 years. It's a possibility that you can be well on your way in the next 6 to 8 years. But you gotta put in the initial groundwork in the grind, bro.
Yeah,
And it ain't gonna happen being lazy and saying, you know what, when you face with adversity or you face with a challenge, you just say, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Cause you're gonna wake up and that problem's still gonna be there. And then, you competing too. You competing at the workplace just like you competing, in business. So
that's true.
somebody wants your job, somebody wants your opportunity, somebody gonna come and they're gonna work harder than you to take your spot.
You
So
you
you
know what
can't let
you know
everybody
what
take
gets
your
me so
spot.
mad, Mark? You know what gets me mad? When they gave me the peak season at Amazon, the best peak season driver of the year. I I got hurt, right? I got hurt
Hey,
about a
bro,
month later,
go ahead. I'm
and
gonna let you tell
and
your
they didn't give
story.
me nothing. They didn't give me
You know
nothing.
why? Because fuck that peak season driver of the year. What does that mean? Did peak season driver of the year come with like a bonus or some shit?
Nah,
All right, then
no,
fuck that shit. Don't tell me about no peak season driver of the year. That shit don't mean shit. That's a metric system to boost your morale so that you can continue to come there and click your heels
I feel
together.
better, yeah. So
You
you
know what I'm
don't quit.
saying? That's
So you
I
don't
don't
quit
do
after all that stuff you
I
did.
don't I'm the peak season driver of the year. Dude, the fuck? So that shit don't mean shit, nigga. Tell me that you did some shit
That's
and they
true.
gave you a $20,000 bonus. I don't care about no peak season driver of the year,
I don't
man.
think. Let me know when you hear
You
somebody
keep
say
talking
that.
about this
I
peak
want to know.
season driver of the year. What
No,
does
I know
that
it
do?
doesn't mean nothing, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like,
It
so,
means
like
nothing.
I used to have the mentality of going in and be the best. Like, but now
I
it's just kind of like, damn it, I was, and I ain't getting nowhere.
I get it, but
That
you
one.
getting happy about peak season driver of the year? That's something that I would never even. They would have gave me that shit. I
You
tossed
know, I
that
never
shit.
hung it up. I left it. I left it in the box that it came in.
You know why? Because you don't care about it. There ain't nothing to care about. Amazon did that for you, right?
The DSP gave it to me. They did it for them. Is
Bro.
like you said, it's based off the metrics, the
Bro,
customers and the reviews, the
yeah,
players.
yeah. Check this out, bro. Check this out. Get on your grind, bro. Next time we talk, I need you to have. I'm gonna give you something to
All
work
right, go
towards
ahead.
because
Thank
you
you.
ain't gonna do
Thank
it
you.
yourself. Next time we talk, I'm gonna make it easy for you. I need you to have 10 G's saved up. Need you to have 10 G's saved up, right? I want you to start a stock portfolio, right? I want you to dollar cost average at least. I'm gonna start you small, at least 1%, 1 to 3%, whatever you can afford, whatever you earn a day, dollar cost average into a portfolio and to whatever assets you want. Obviously, it could be fractional shares, right? And I want you to have at least $10,000 saved up.
Okay.
I want you to do that in the next, what's this?
Saved
June?
up or in the bank?
But saved up. I don't care if it's even in the portfolio. It don't necessarily have to be in the bank. So you could show me a portfolio, and I want to see at least 10 grand in there. Even if you put less than 10 grand in there, and you caught fire on something and it accumulated to that much. I want to see 10 grand, and I want you to be DCA in at least 1 to 3% because I want you to get your portfolio back up. You sold all your assets. So
You ever
1 to
heard of
3%.
XOS?
No. What company is that?
XOS is a So when I was a FedEx manager, I did some courses that a lot of drivers don't know. So and it taught me how to become a manager and all that, and it taught me how to manage. So it was from the biggest FedEx contractor, the guy that Spencer Patton, the guy that got terminated. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if.
Mm-hmm.
So I took
Yeah.
his courses on his site and stuff because I was hungry.
He's
So
he's he's from
I
here.
he's from Michigan, I think.
Oh, he's from
No, he's from
Michigan.
Tennessee. I'm so sorry.
He's
He's
from
from
Tennessee, but he owns routes
he's
up
from
here. He's a FedEx
all the
guy, right?
way. Well, not
Yeah,
no
he
not
owns
no more.
routes
Yeah,
up
he was
here.
the biggest. So
Yeah.
I found this guy on YouTube. I found this guy on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube when he first started his YouTube, and like his
Mm-hmm.
videos were like bad quality, and I'm like, yo, who is this guy? So I started watching, and then I ended up finding his site, and I took his course. I paid $300 for it, and it taught me how to make the routes. It taught me how to talk to drivers, all that stuff. So anyway, moral of the story, because I always forget. In the middle of the story, I forget what I was trying to put out there. So basically he's the one that found this company that makes electrical step vans
Mm-hmm.
uh and and box trucks. And I believe that they were working on tractors as well. So I ended up finding them and I had their stocks. So I'm like, yo, and then like this was when I didn't know nothing about stocks. So then I started researching it. Then I found the guy Warren Buffett, and then I was like, damn. So I was like, so I think the best thing for me to do is to just like I kind of like that and I believe in it, and because I had a good experience with his course and this and that, and like, you know what, let me invest. So I was like, but I got to stick to companies that I believe in, right? So but and then I had like it was like 30 cents when I first found it, it was like 14 cents when it first came out. It was like maybe $10, and then it dropped down, and then that's when I found it, and I invested in like maybe 1,000 stocks, and then it's crazy. It's just
That's
crazy. I
good.
had a bunch of
That's good.
stocks, and I was up
That's good.
by like $1,000 or $2,000 of what I invested, and then I
That's
sold it
good.
all to have
Mm-hmm.
capital for the truck.
That's good. But
My
do
sob
this.
story.
But do this. Do what I told you to do, right? We're gonna give you 6 months. So around
Okay,
Christmas time, I want you to tap back in right before New
cool.
Year's. It's June
Okay,
5th, so right before New Year's, we want you to tap back in. We want to see where you at.
Got you.
All right,
Thanks, Mark.
James, you can do it. You are somebody. Okay, you can do it. All right,
I got you.
never let nobody tell you otherwise. But stop giving up so easy. When you face with adversity and you face with challenges, meet them head on and conquer them. Don't run from them. Don't go to sleep. Meet them head on and conquer them. Challenges, obstacles, people. Sometimes you deal with people that's what comes along with work. You may have to toughen it up and suck it up and deal with it. Right? You got other responsibilities that from decisions you made. One of them is little man that you can't walk away and be fucked up out here, bro. So be responsible. Right? Now I'm doing this, I'm giving you this free mentorship, bro. So don't waste my time. So in 6 months, because right now my girl texting me talking about she want to talk, and literally I'm texting her back like I'm still streaming. She like, fuck it, I'm going to bed. So I'm not. I could be caking on the phone, but I'm gonna have to hear her mouth in the morning, right? Because I'm spending this time
Mark.
with you. No, it's all good. I got this. Listen, I got this over here. You see what I'm saying? But I'm spending this time with you because I want you to understand. You dig what I'm saying? Don't waste my time because I could literally be doing other shit, bro.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, take shit more serious. In 6 months, we want to see where you at, bro. All right?
All right, cool. Now I gotta go.
All right? Peace out, James.
Peace, Mark.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Until the next one, I'm out. Peace.